And I think I'm live. Oh god, the problems. Welcome guys, and hello everyone, and do apologize for delay and technical problems. YouTube new streaming system apparently fails. So I was not able to start the stream from OBS. I switched to the classic interface and I'm online and I can see the chat and I can see everyone. So hello Natasha, hello Rory, hello Ridpik and Gad, how are you doing today? Thank you for joining me. I actually supposed to be getting ready for work, but yesterday, since one of these boxes here, like teasing, was arriving today, so I thought like I'm gonna take a holiday, then drive in the morning 120 miles, sleep a couple of more hours and look like a mess on a live stream with a beautiful hat. It's a Raspberry Pi hat because I've got today these Raspberry Pi 4 and a power supply and a couple of other boxes that we're gonna go through in a second. So Starbucks trying to work and well, let's have a coffee together, Rory, because we well overdue with that. Milk. Sorry. So I've got a bunch of boxes to open and a bunch of things to tease you, and the video output is low apparently. So if any problems with the stream, do let me know. I had a massive network issues over the weekend and I'm still not completely sorted. There's a router in here which waits for the network to be ready. So let's go into the proper interface so we can play with some boxes. Watching on the Raspberry Pi 4. Hey, this is awesome, Natalie. Natasha, sorry, not Natalie. That's cool. I've not even tried it yet, so I'm like super keen to give it a go. So these are boxes, so let's move all the stuff and I'll tell you about what I did at work. You gotta laugh. And let's play with some stuff. So maybe I'll put some lights on. My automation system is still down, unfortunately. So yeah, stuff doesn't work as it's supposed to. It's on my really first day after everything happened, and the last day I got the internet, I got everything sorted and I had to go to work, and I've not been home since. I had like 4 hours sleep and I'm back in here. So what we've got, I'm going to remove the boxes we don't need, so we don't need this one. The main boxes here are Raspberry Pi boxes. Raspberry Pi 4 with 4 gigs of RAM because I'm crazy. Apps. And power supply, because I thought I only have like 2 USB Type-C power supply. One is for my mobile, and you always need a power supply. And if I'm gonna be doing some testing, obviously it's best to use a power supply I can trust for the testing. So I was actually lucky enough to get one because they went out of stock pretty soon. I was 7 o'clock in the morning. I was just like, oh, Twitter saying like, these are very important people in the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Why are they up at 6 o'clock? And I knew something's going up, and then 7 o'clock AM, everyone started to post about Raspberry Pi, and yeah, the Raspberry Pi 4 got released. So I bought one myself. Let's be at ease and let's open the power supply first, and not the Raspberry Pi. So what we've got in here, it's white. For some reason I thought it's gonna be black. I don't know why. It's a nice brick, very small. I like the size of it and the form factor. How long is the cable? We'll see. This cable is that long, which is probably 120 according to my eyes. 1.20 m. I don't do mirror picture. Should I mirror? Oh, okay, sorry guys. I'll do the mirror for you. So this is the main camera. I probably forgot about this camera. Camera 2 and mirror flip device. Transform flip horizontal. That's the one. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you to you, Mr. Leonid. Leonid? Am I doing it right? My Russian is terrible, huh? Unfortunately, I used to be fluent in Russian because I had it at school. You can still read it very slowly, but yeah. So, power supply, pretty cool. I'm gonna plug it in because why not? Something's underneath it. Come on. Yeah, don't touch it with the tongue. And the main star of the program is the 4 gigs Raspberry Pi with bells and whistles. So, come on, be a good box. I'm too excited about this. Oh, come on. Yeah, let's use some force. It's actually glued, that's why. Then we have the instructions. Do I have a sticker as well? Raspberry Pi. And look at this. Monitor the temperature. Do not touch it with your fingers. How am I supposed to handle it? And there is this side up, I guess. And there is the instructions. Safety guide and usage guide. So there's nothing there really, and nothing in the box. So we have a new board, which means we're gonna take out a old board and just kind of run it side by side. Like, can I just like get my? Do I even have? So I have this one. I have this one which is damaged, and I'm trying to find my Raspberry Pis, which. Well, I guess I don't need that server, so I can just do this. This is Raspberry Pi 1, and the other one is using Octoprint. Am I using Octoprint right now? No, I can disable Octoprint. So I'll take a Raspberry Pi from Octoprint. And that's a Raspberry Pi 3. So let's get it out. So that's my Octoprint. That's the Raspberry Pi 4, that's the Octoprint Raspberry Pi 3, this is Raspberry Orange Pi, which was a long story, I'll tell you in a moment, and Raspberry Pi 3B, this is 3B plus, this is 3B. Okay, so this is a nice collection. If I went downstairs for my other one, I would have another Raspberry Pi 2, but I'm not going to do it. So, as you probably know, we have 2 HDMI for some reason, a USB Type-C, which is brilliant because I really like everyone to move to USB-C standard. Please already, computers, everything. It's such a good connector, so I'm looking forward to all devices to, to transition. We have ports, so USB Type-C ports, 2 of them. Let's have a look at that, because I'm already thinking desoldering a couple of stuff for my NASPI build. So that's gonna be a mess to deal, because I'm not looking forward to this job. There is a power of over the internet. So we have more RAM. This is 4 gig RAM. This is a new processor. There's designations on it. Broadcom, yeah. We have this is a Wi-Fi module, if I'm correct. And yeah. That looks nice and shiny, and let's see if I can fit it in the old case, assuming that I'm not going to use my collectors, the double, just as a form factor rather than anything else. So if that's gonna go well on top, which means nothing else changed. Okay, so the power supply socket is moved slightly. I can tell you that. Is that? Yeah, it's tiny bit to the right. You could still probably use the existing enclosures. Audio jack is in the same position. Everything is in the same position. You will have to also modify your HDMI to retrofit into a case. So if you're gonna go with this one, everything is aligned like this. If you're gonna go with a new one, you'll notice that you have some issues which are here. So you need about 0.5 millimeter of some Dremel action, and then you'll be able to fit it into a old enclosure. In terms of ports, they should be aligned in the same way. Ooh, they're not aligned in the same way. So we have a swap of the ports, so if you can see. So these are the old designs, this is the new design, and we have Ethernet jack on the right instead of having it on the left. So that's another change I've not known about. I'm probably gonna buy another 2 of them for my projects, but I either gonna go for 2 gig version or 1 gig version. One's gonna be up for my ultimate Node-RED server, and I'm really excited for this build, guys. It's gonna be amazing. And one's gonna go for the NAS Pi, so my NAS Pi, which is running right now, Raspberry Pi, this one, Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, which was a pointless upgrade at first, and speed increased to slightly, so it was better than my Raspberry Pi 2 build. And then I was playing with orange Pis. As you can see, this one's missing a bit. It's actually still alive. And I was trying to introduce a connector, and I was trying to get this to work with my SSD. And to be honest, the driver's performance is horrible with SSD, and I spent more than I supposed to. And thankfully now I have a gigabit board that I can use for my NAS Pi, and for most of it, I can use my existing enclosure really for this, which is great. So that's something definitely I'm going to be doing. So that's in terms of a physical overview. Let's check the cards as well. Slot. The card slot is positioned the same place. So there's no problems here. That seems to be missing, wherever that was, the board controller. But yeah, so the main changes, physical changes, obviously there are two HDMI. I might have adapter for this. Do I? No, that's my car. Ooh, I'm missing adapters. I might have a cable. Let's have a look if I have a cable for it. I'm really interested in the raw performance of this. HDMI. I knew I'm not going to be using it as a computer, so I didn't really bother with the cable for it. That's the one. I've got some cable here. No, is it? No, that's a completely different cable. I don't even have a video cable for this. So I'm definitely gonna get the cables. I've got two monitors. At some point I'm gonna give it a go and try it. But there's a couple of projects I wanna run with this. So let me. Now the first one's going to be probably NAS Pi because the first one's going to be tests. I'm going to run a 2019 edition of all the tests. So you're going to be seeing Wi-Fi performance versus all the boards I have, and I have every single board since Raspberry Pi 2. So I have the. Let me just open my awesome case. By the way, have you seen? I need to show you this, guys. You need to see this for yourself, because this is something I'm working on. Ugh, this is unique, not enough tech. Oh, why connecting SSH? I don't want to connect SSH. Close it. Thank you. Okay. This is unique, not enough tech toolbox. And because it's not enough tech, it's obviously over-engineered. And well, I've been working on this for a couple of days now, and it's pretty awesome. So it contains a built-in battery. You can start the case in here, so you can see the battery indicators going up. There is a logo which lights up, there is a fingerprint sensor which waits for the lock, and there's a lots of stuff inside that I will be able to use, like a regulated power supply, banana pins. You can charge the case itself, and there's much more going in. So I'll be playing with this as well. Let me get another two Raspberry Pis for you. So I've got the medium version, and I've got the stick version, which is USB the zeros. So those things are definitely gonna be checked. I'll see how the latest Raspbian's performing versus on all the boards, because initially when I did the speed test with Raspberry Pi B Plus, the ePerf test was splendid. I was able to get 270 to 190 megabits per second on the network adapter, on the Ethernet. But then when I did the real life tests and I tried to transfer some files, it was performing worse than Raspberry Pi 2, and yeah, that was the Raspbian issues. So since then the new Raspbian fixed this, and we can enjoy like 200 to 220 megabits. So I definitely want to test every single interface I have on all those boards, and make a new edition, and I'm not going to base this on ePerf anymore. I'm gonna have like 4 gig file or something like that, bigger than the RAM, and try to push it to disk and see how they perform. So that's the plan for this network test, and it's gonna be all interfaces. So we're gonna be using USB, you're gonna be using Ethernet, and you're going to be using Wi-Fi, and that's like a half day of testing. So in a way, I'm looking forward to the results, but I'm not looking forward to run around the room with measuring Wi-Fi in the different spots and trying to figure out which Wi-Fi is the best and whether I have a decent connection. So, sorry I didn't say bye to Rory, but bye to Rory a bit late. So that's for the Raspberry Pi thing. I need to download the latest Raspberry. I've not done it, like I said, I just got up. But we can talk about a couple of other things I have, because today was a post day. I've not been home, so let's go to this and look at this. I have Sonoffs and Sonoff Basics, those two. They have a different color, and they have a different color for a reason, because this is R3 series, and we can open them. They look much different now, and they come with a new DIY mode, which means you don't necessarily have to flash them with Tasmota to use them. And the Tasmota, you could flash Tasmota IFE software and use them with HTTP request with MQTT. But DIY mode promises that you're going to be able to control these via HTTP requests without flashing custom software, which means you can retain the Google Assistant and Amazon Echo support via eWeLink app. I'm interested in to what degree I can control this, and obviously I'm gonna open this up soon and tell you more details about it. I have two versions. One is the RF version, which comes with a really decent remote. Actually, when I looked at this at first, I was just like, what is this? And that was the remote, and it feels really solid. This is the spring action protector, which is really nice and stiff, and so you have buttons. Yeah, so I'm liking this, and this is to control one of these. One of these is RF version. This is RF, and this is Sonoff Basic. So we'll be playing with these as well. Another thing I've got, yesterday I went to IKEA, and I didn't have any meatballs, unfortunately, but I went to IKEA to get two things. First of all, I wanted to get a color bulb. I have the standard IKEA bulb, which I can adjust the color temperature, but I wanted to have a color bulb because I'm missing a tutorial for Node-RED ever since I got the Zigbee stick. Remember the Zigbee to MQTT, so basically that's what I'm using to control it, and there's going to be a tutorial about controlling the normal smart light, the one with the color temperature, and the full color light. Another thing I've picked up in IKEA was a smart socket. I wasn't really planning on it, but since the smart socket comes with a remote, let me just get that out. I thought, why not? Probably you'll be able to control the this smart remote. It's really nice, actually. You can control the socket by default by linking it as you would with all other IKEA devices. But thanks to Node-RED, you'll be able to decouple this and use this to, I don't know, as a garage door opener. You can use it for blinds, anything you want, because thanks to Node-RED and Zigbee to MQTT protocol, you will be able to cross-link these devices, so you can use, I don't know, Agara buttons like these, no, sorry, that's IKEA, like these, to actually control the socket as well. So that's something cool, and that's something I'd like to share. And I dropped something, which is a Raspberry Pi logo, which I printed. Where's my slipper? I'm just driving on it. Sorry. Right, so because I got these before work, I went to work with everything, and should create a Discord server for communication. Ritwik, I usually good with social media, actually, and I have a Reddit for that kind of stuff. So every post or something comes with a Reddit thread. You can, check additional information for each a write-up. It works okay. I have in theory Slack group, but I never used it, so I'm thinking about what I should do with it. I don't know if there is a thing for it. But the interesting story with it, I went to work. I work in office. I went to work with all these. I put it on the desk, and no one was there. And then I got a silly idea. Since this is not detectable by internet, you don't have to connect it to Wi-Fi. You can do evil. You can do evil stuff. So I've plugged that in into a monitor of my workmate Helen that sits behind me. I set the perfect trap, and I was able to control her monitor screen with a button. And you can imagine what happened next. For the next 10 minutes, I was tormenting her. She was running around the computer trying to check the cables and see what's going on and why one of the screen is not working. So I have this all recorded, and Helen was kind enough that allowed me to use this footage to share with you. So I'm going to put a really nice montage how you can prank your colleagues with something like this. It was absolutely brilliant to be there, especially that everyone on my team knew about this, only Helen didn't know. So a perfect setup. So that's gonna be something I'll be editing. I'm not a prank channel, but I just could not resist. What else is there? So we've got the Raspberry Pi kind of cover. If you're just joining and missing out, we were talking about the Raspberry Pis, and just for people joining, hello Ricola. I'm just gonna run you through a quick changes on the Raspberry Pi boards. So let me just switch the cameras for you. So I was talking about the differences, and now while you in theory could, I thought that's kind of messed up now. While in theory you could actually just use the Dremel to make this slightly bigger, make this space a little bit bigger in your enclosure, and make this a little bit bigger in your enclosure, so you could actually try to fit the case like this. This is for Raspberry Pi 3 and this is Raspberry Pi 4. In theory you could do it. There is a slight problem. These are swapped, and not all the cases gonna accommodate for it, because the Ethernet jack and USB ports are different, and they has been swapped. So you have now in the Raspberry Pi 4 you have the Ethernet on one side, which is the left side if you look at it this way, and on the Raspberry Pi 3 you have it on this side. Now if your case, like in this case, I kind of could accommodate for it. Let me just check the base. Yeah, it would kind of work. I would have to just snap this, but essentially you are looking into a new case. So I scratched what I've said earlier, that you could just Dremel it out a little bit and you could use all the case for it. You'll need designated case to accommodate for all design changes. So, and all the stuff on the board is aligned. So card is in the same place, the jack is in the same place, you have the same place for both connectors, cameras, and a display connector, and the power is slightly bigger. So those are the changes in the interface. So I'm gonna be running this against this is gonna be first, like I said, network test, and then NASPI build, and then I'm gonna order another 2 of them, which one's gonna go for my ultimate Node.js server, or you can use it for HAS server. It's going to be really cool because I'm going to integrate stuff like this. It's going to have a SSD drive and a couple of more things that I actually wanted to talk about. So since I thought I have HDMI cables that are capable of running this, I can't, and that's kind of an overview. I know what I'm going to be doing next. I'm going to be downloading everything, testing the speeds probably tomorrow, and writing about it. What else is there? Yeah, the toolbox I was talking about. That's actually, I decided to go motorized, and because the toolbox opens like this. Well, right now there's a bit of a mess inside because it has all the wiring out. But it's gonna be opening itself based on the motors, and another thing it's gonna be there, which is gonna check if it has enough space. Can I run your little logo as well? Let me just turn it on, because the Arduino isn't powered inside. Okay. So now, when I power my case, it's a nice button here I've made it myself. I'm so proud. It powers up the the case. This is ready, and my fingerprint sensor isn't connected right now because I had some issues with it. But when you authorize your fingerprint, so you have animation, and then it will unlock the toolbox itself. So this is something mad I was working on. Why not? What else is going to be coming up? Things that are coming up apart from this. Oh, I have another Zigbee stuff. So let me get the faceplate for it. We're gonna be talking about why smart sockets or switches like this for lights aren't the great idea in the UK. Mostly because of viewings. As much as I like this, and you can control 2 sets of lights, they have 2 different Zigbee chips. You can't connect it in UK. It's not compatible with wiring, unfortunately. So we're gonna be repurposing this for a different reason, and you can still use them, but not the way you intended. UK wiring sucks for automation. Safety is different standard, but for automation, guys, it sucks. Now, if you at any point you have any questions, obviously do type them in the chat. I keep monitoring the chat and checking what's going on in the chat. And oh, there's a light, and I was playing with a 3D printer. I want to show you. Hold on a second. Let me just drag the camera. So my 3D printer have a small update. For now, I'm just printed out this small connector, and I connected it to the bed. So basically now when I'm moving the bed, when the camera is fixed, and I'm able to produce a pretty cool time lapses. I could need some extra lights for this, and later on I'm gonna have a 180-degree jig, and this monstrosity in here, which overexposing the picture right now, it's the downlight, Zigbee downlight. I'm really pleased with the light, and the review is ready. It's going to be posted soon, mostly because this light has a very strong colors. Like I was not able, and let me just put this back, this one here. I was not able to actually capture good pictures for review of the colors, mostly because it was overexposing the pictures. So the colors are super strong, and I really like it. It's slightly, this is a Zigbee, so it's more complicated to drive. You either have to have a router for Zigbee, or you do the stick, there's MQTT. And I keep losing detection of my devices. Xiaomi in Zigbee MQTT. Do you have any idea why? I've not run into this problem. Check the firmware. Maybe there is a firmware update and flash your stick again. That would be the first solution. Just back up your configuration file so you don't have to detect every single device. So yeah, you could run this lamp, and it's much stronger than 2 year light bulbs, and provide better color reproduction, my opinion, because it's just better in that regard. Obviously, the trade-off is that it is downlight, so you have to fit it in, you have to make a hole in the ceiling. And the second thing is that it's Zigbee, so you have to look after it yourself. It's up to date, you say. I will have to play and see, to be honest, and see if I come across the same. You're running this on the Raspberry Pi, maybe version of the Raspberry Pi or something like that. It's hard to tell without testing, but I'll keep that in mind. Battery. Do remember that some of the devices, they do go into sleep mode, so you might need to press it once to activate it, and second times to kind of actuate it if you've been in sleep mode for a long time. But this is not something I came across. So I've just powered my server down to show you, so I can't really test it now because I had it linked. I'm gonna make a quick test, I guess. Octoprint was this one, so I need that one. Let me just plug it into my case. No, this is a Raspberry Pi 4. They're also similar right now. And this is the case for it. So let me just plug it in and quickly test it and see what's going on. It's powering up. I'll be able to control the light on the side, which is this backup light I'm using right now to get rid of the shadow from this side. So yeah, what else? Raspberry Pi for the price. Oh, I forgot. Guys, gonna have an interview. I'm running an interview with Eben Upton, which is founder of Raspberry Pi Foundation. So that's coming up on Enough Tech. I'm gonna have a couple of nice questions. We'll see how much information I'm gonna be able to extract for him. And yeah, it's really cool that he agreed to speak to me, and I'll be able to submit a couple of questions. So if you have a burning question, just drop it on the chat and send me on social media. And if I like the question, I may even submit it forward and see what's what. So that's something interesting I was able to secure. And after the weekend, expect the interview and expect some questions and answers from Raspberry Pi Foundation man itself. So I think that's pretty much it. I've got a message which I really need to check. Bear with me. I do have to reply to this. Unfortunately, my significant other is coming back from work and demands food, which gonna cut my live stream shorter. Duties, unfortunately. Can you do open tests, quick test on OpenGL performance? I will be testing probably tomorrow more, because like I said, I'm a mess today. I really wanted to just open it up and take an opportunity to catch up with you guys, because yeah, I got home like 9 o'clock AM after 12-hour shift, so I only just had a couple of hours sleep, and yeah, I woke up and like, oh, there's a parcel in there. I really want to open it. So I thought I'm just gonna put that on a live stream, just talk about some people with you guys, and see what you are interested in, and what you have plans with the Raspberry Pi 4. If you're going to buy a Raspberry Pi 4, what kind of version are you interested in? Are you going for 1, 2 gig or 4 gig? I know I took a 4 gig because I thought they're gonna run out really quickly, because for that price of point there is no really competition there. Even like the Orange Pi, I have it with 2 gigs and 8 gig of eMMC memory. It costs 40 pounds, and that was 55 for something that is a little bit better. Sonoff R3, yes, it's gonna be a separate video. We're gonna be first investigating what's possible with eWheeling app. We're gonna test the DIY mode, talk about the internal differences and build quality inside the Sonoff switches, compare them with basics, and then obviously I will tell you whether I think should we still flash this with Tasmota and IFE, or can we get away with using them as it is and retain the functionality of the smart speakers through the eWheeling app. So that's going to be interesting exploration. I have actually a friend which knows much more about electricity than me, and he's gonna kind of load test them and see that they don't melt in a safe environment. So yeah, that's something that I'm gonna do with the new Sonoffs. I'm quite happy that they arrived, and this one comes with a cool remote. This is RF remote, so I can't really link it without any RF. I have an RF connector actually. So I might be able to link it to my Node setup. Yeah, I could add this, because so far for my ultimate Node-RED build, I want to make a custom case. It's going to be bigger than this, but you can imagine more or less what I'm aiming for. It's a very simple brick that's going to have 1 or 2 cables, obviously your internet, your Ethernet cable and your power. And it's going to be everything inside. I don't want any dongles, I don't want anything sticking out, just a complete box. And I definitely want to have the MQTT stick, the Zigbee 2 MQTT stick. I might include the RF connector for RF action, and there's gonna be a drive to use. Since we've got USB Type-C now, I'm gonna make test the performance with SSDs and the mechanical drives, and I want to see if Raspberry Pi 4, what is the performance with both, and if there is any advantage of using SSDs right now or not. Obviously the speeds are up to 1 gigabit per second over the network. USB Type-C, the limit is 5 gigabits, so the saturation on that is done already. It's the Ethernet that's going to be bottlenecking us. So I'm interested to see how the chipset design is going to distribute all the data inside the board and transfer it over the Ethernet. and whether we're going to see any real benefit from running SSDs versus a decent 2.5-inch drive. And then we're going to build a nice server around it and make a really cool product. It's going to be based slightly on the Node server I've seen online, which inspired me, but since they've not planned for this board at all, there is a lot of work I have to do myself. I'm not good with the PCB design, but I have a friend that's going to be probably advising me on this. So yeah, that's something I'm definitely going to do. Do I have anything else in the pipeline? Oh, I'm gonna have a smart curtains. Yes, Zigbee curtains. I managed to secure Zigbee curtains, and I'm not talking royal blinds. I'm gonna try to get royal blinds as well, but the actual curtains that move on the rail. So I'm gonna be playing with that setup and automate this for sunshine and evening and daytime time hours. So that's something interesting. And I have a dashcam review coming up. Let me open my calendar, because my calendar actually tells me everything. Calendar, and I'll tell you what else is coming up. Now finally we'll be writing about these, because I'm moving ahead with the other projects and I want to control a lot of relays. That's like lots of relays, and I have this board which is going to be embedded into my desk and provide me with a power supply for all my projects. That's going to be cool. Which Zigbee curtains? These going to be semi-smart Zigbee curtains. I'll just drop you a link. They're about $150, sorry. And I'll show you the link. I just need to take the measurements and I'll tell you if they are any good. Curtains and windows. Is that the Zigbee version? I think not. Let's find the Zigbee version. Yeah, this one. Okay. Can I paste the links now? Yes. So this is the one I'm going to use. I'm going to get. So I'll tell you how it works and if it's worth of getting one. What else I've got in my automation plans? I need to look around my stuff to figure out. Oh, yeah, right. IKEA bridge. It's pretty much useless right now. Don't know what I'm going to do it. It's you know what? This is really it bothers me. The size of this. It's like this. Do you know how much it takes inside? Honestly, it's even smaller than this. It's just like that could be a small USB stick. So. About IKEA curtains, if they're reasonable price, this is the thing, right? They're gonna be Zigbee, so I might as well get them because I should be able to control it and make a review. You can get actually Zigbee roller blinds if you go to Semi-Smart website. You can get roller blinds in there that are either connected via Wi-Fi, and they're with about $50 to $70, so they're not very expensive. I've not tested them itself, but if the quality is any good as this light I've got, then yeah, I could totally recommend it, and they're gonna be competitive in pricing to IKEA. The only thing you have to bear in mind is that you will have to write your own software unless you're gonna get a bridge. And you know, if you verse in Node-RED, then obviously what you can do is just use one of these to control the curtains. You saw that it's not very complicated to do. And if I'm gonna get the curtains itself, I'll write the Node-RED controller for you. But yeah, definitely I'm interested. Because it's nice to have a store which is, you know, somewhere there, an hour away. You're just gonna drive or take a taxi, or if it's local, you're gonna go and do the local delivery or whatever, and you pick up yourself a smart curtains to your window of your size instead of waiting 4 weeks for something to arrive from China. And that's definitely something nice to have in Europe because we don't have enough of it. When you are in China, you have lots of these shops, and those are available with the next day delivery pretty much nationwide. And that's the option we've always been missing in Europe, where either the tech we've got, you go to Garrison, you're looking at the Hue bulbs, and they don't really have a competition, and they cost really expensive money, and it's not something I would be able to afford myself. Excuse me. But it's good to have options, and Europe so far has been missing on these options, I believe, because whatever is available on the shop floor is quite expensive, and I can only imagine what kind of money they're making on selling these products where the alternative products are available through retailer from the different countries, and so at so much less to pay for. So that's definitely something that it's worth paying attention. And with IKEA, I think, like I said, the not expensive stuff, the smart socket, for example, it's £22, which is, it's not very expensive. It's okay because you get a remote with it as well. But then again, for it to properly work, you probably want a bridge, and there's a problem with automating it from smart speakers and everything, because you only have a basic version, and you don't have the flexibility you get when you do it yourself. Right now with this remote, I can do whatever I want, and that's not something that IKEA ever thought about. And those things that always drive me away from automation, because we all have their own ideas of how we would like to do stuff. And I want to do stuff my way, you want to do stuff your way, and this is where home automation is such a versatile space, because even switching the lights on and off can be done in so many different ways. Let's say you have a button and I have a button, and this is your button, this is my button. The difference is one is orange, one is blue. And we want to turn on the light. We're going to press the button, light comes up. We're going to press the button again, light comes off. But there is a degree of automation you can do. First of all, you can do delay. So how quick the button responds. So you can have a small dimming animation which brings up the light slowly, gradually at night. And at the day you get like instant snappy response to full brightness, because if you need the light at the daytime, you probably need it at 100%. At night, 3 o'clock, you can set that to only go to 20%, stay there for 2 minutes, and if it's on for more than 2 minutes, then it'll go to full brightness, or you can adjust the timing and stuff like that. So that how much you could automate with a single action, and having this sort of degree of automation between people, it's great, because your needs going to be much different from my needs, and my preference is going to be much different from yours. And having a big company just giving you, just press the button and it works, it's comfortable because you don't have to do anything. But we are not made the same, and we have different requirements, and that's why tinkering with this stuff is so interesting and exciting, because you can get to do stuff your own way, that it's going to be suited to you. It doesn't have to be unique, special, and no one has it else. It's not about that. It's about having this degree of automation that is suited just for your needs, and that's what is pretty about it. So that's definitely something I'm considering in terms of blinds, and if they're reasonable price and I'm okay with money, then I'll buy a set of blinds. I've got actually blinds in here in the office. Let's have a look. I could automate them. Excuse me. And I could fit the IKEA blinds, I think, in here, and see what I can do. Like in the evening time, I have a very strong sun in here right now. That's why the blind is down, because otherwise it would overexpose the stream. And having this automated to detect the sunshine level outside and drop the blinds down would be cool. So that's for the IKEA. So if you joined the stream a little bit late, I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown for the Raspberry Pi. Again, so Raspberry Pi, for my version, is a 4 gig version. There's a couple of layout differences. Obviously we have the HDMI. I was hoping we could just carve out a piece of plastic using a Dremel to make this bigger. So as you see, this is aligned and this is almost aligned. But there is a different in ports, and Ethernet port has been moved to the other side. So right now you'll have, you probably all have to buy a new case for it. Now, I didn't have much time yet today. Tomorrow I'll be testing speeds of all Raspberry Pi boards, and that's going to be right up probably on Friday, because I expect that to be a bigger one. Anything else? That's going to go as a NAS file build after testing. And I'm gonna have my own Raspberry Pi server Node-RED server running probably of one of those boards. I think 1 gig or 2 gigs was going to be way enough what I need on for the Node-RED. Oh, I've not been speaking so much for ages. I'm running out of energy to speak. RetroPie doesn't support it yet. Stretch won't work. The new Raspberry Buster is for the new hardware. Is the new Raspbian Buster for the new hardware only, or can I just run it on all devices right now? They've mentioned backwards compatibility hardware-wise, but I've not even downloaded the latest one. So yeah, I'm probably gonna download it later on, slot it on, and check the speeds and stuff, and see what's going on. And yeah, that's probably gonna be it. My wife arrived, so someone has to be on the cooking duty. That's unfortunately my job. So I'm gonna go now, do some stuff, plan my work ahead, and start posting about Raspberry Pi 4 soon. Come on, Hut, get in place. And like I said, look forward to the interview. I have a couple of cheeky questions for Eben Upton about the Raspberry Pi 4. I hope to see answers. Don't know, maybe you'll decline the comment. But yeah, I'm quite happy. This is new stuff. I don't know if you like interviews and stuff like that, but I'm definitely quite happy I was able to get a chance at this. And I'll be posting about stuff. Now that my router is working, I've got a Linksys GT32X Monster, so that should be okay for now. I should be connected, not like last week when everything just fell apart on me and nothing started work. I still have to work on my computer because for some reason I have a Tasker video. It's not rendering. Everything's ready. I just have to render the video, upload it, and post it. But it's not rendering the video for some reason, and it drives me crazy. It is a 7-year-old computer, and I need to look into upgrades. But I've checked the build type I want, and that's like £2,000 to spend. And it's like, I don't have that money. Will it take another year for recall box support us for through? What is recall box? I've not used this one. Oh yeah, if you have a USB SSD testing main transfer. Yeah, that's what I've got. I've got USB shells. So I've got those caddies, and they go with where's my USB thingy? Yes, I think it's my license. Yeah. So I've got these. Those are USB Type-C for SSDs, and I've got 2 SSDs different because one I didn't trust, and so I bought a new SSD to make sure the SSD works, and yeah. So that's gonna be also an upgrade for my Plex NASPi. So if you remember, I built the NASPi for Plex, for Samba server, and for file sharing locally and over the internet, and that was running on USB Type-C. And since we've got USB Type-C, then I need to upgrade the entire system hub for this. And now I'm just thinking like how to do it, because for this build to work I have to desolder the USB Type-C. I don't do USB Type-3. If you ever desoldered USB Type-2, USB 2, then you know that it's cool. But as soon as you start desoldering the other board, you'll end up with something like this when you get angry. So this is conversion. This port, I don't even know actually if it works now or not, because I ended up getting a new Orange Pi for the same reason, and that was a testing board, so that's quite expensive test. And then I ended up being really frustrated, and I was like, you know what, it no longer works, and I cut out half of the board, and this board still kind of works. What's turned out to be a problem was that I had a piece of solder which shoot off during the soldering and was connecting to a capacitor, and that's why the board wasn't powering it. Later on I found a piece, I scrubbed it off, and the board powered despite being amputated. So yeah, I'll see. Like I said, Orange Pi, right now it's gonna go on the shelf, since I've got everything I need with the new Raspberry Pi, and it's even cheaper, because like I said, this is a 2 gig board, and that's 44. £12, and that was £40, but I ended up paying £16 of duty because of value. So yeah, it was still cheaper. So definitely Raspberry Pi 4 is the board in UK to look forward. So right guys, I'm going to go to the kitchen and do some magic there. Later on I'm going to install the Raspbian, do a couple of tests, and don't think I'm gonna post anything unless I manage to render the video. If I'm gonna render the video, then I'm gonna drop in the Tasker Smart navbar. Everything is ready, just need the video to render, and my computer needs to respond to me finally. I don't know what happened. It struggles recently, and I ended up reinstalling everything, and I'm not looking forward to it. It's a waste of time. And time is what I'm missing constantly, but I have an extra day this week because I took a holiday for this video and for this live stream. So yeah, that's what basically I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be very busy working and trying to get as much content as possible before I have to go back to work on Monday. So all you lovely people, there's like loads of you. I think this is the most popular stream right now I ever run. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for bearing with me, even though that didn't do anything like hands-on exciting, but that's everything to come. And it will be there, I promise. And I'm gonna say goodbye to you, and I hope you're gonna have a great time and get your Raspberry Pis for us. Are the specs good for its price? Yes, in my opinion, yes, because first of all, if you don't need 4 gigs RAM, you have a Raspberry Pi for $35 of £34. You cannot beat this price right now, I believe. You can't. And anyone claiming that you can get slightly better performance out of another board forgets about one very important detail. It's the community. I have 2, on paper, really decent Orange Pi box and Orange Pi boards, and they're not being used because I struggle to get the driver to work with SSD. So the performance on paper, it doesn't matter. It's both. You need to have a really great hardware supported by really popular community, and the Raspberry Pi does it very well. It does really good job at bringing people together around the boards and build a community around it. Once you've got community around it, you have a tons of software popping out and tons of support, and that's why Raspberry Pi, it does provide you with a really great value for money. In terms of a 4 gig version of the, it's £54 or $55. Is it worth it? Depends what you need the RAM for. If you have no choice, then yes, it's worth it. I think you should be happy with 2 gig RAM easily. I kind of trying to think about scenarios when you would need a 4 gig RAM, and the only thing is rendering, transcoding in 4K, I guess. And that's the only scenario you need. So unless you watch 4K content and you want some streaming server, then I wouldn't even go there. I got the 4 gig one because I knew it's gonna be short on supply, and everyone wants the biggest, better things. So I thought, like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I know my Node-RED server is gonna be either 1 gig or 2 gigs. I'll just monitor the performance first on the test board and then decide which one to buy. But for $35 or £34, it is a really good price to get the gigabit connector and USB Type 3 and 3 times faster performance on the processor. I was running full-blown Linux. I was having what was it? I was having one was Debian and the one was Ubuntu. And I've tried desktop versions and server versions, and it was driving me crazy because on some I couldn't even get the Samba to work properly, and it was just like, it's basic. On the Raspberry Pi, it's 3 lines of code and it works and it's well supported, and people already, you know, got rid of the bugs. But with the boards that aren't so popular, that support comes really slow. So you have to wait weeks before something gets fixed. For normal Debian instead of Raspbian, well, it's powerful enough. I've not tried it obviously, but there's no hardware limitation to that. Well, like, this is a distribution of the Linux anyway, so there shouldn't be any compatibility issues. The only thing you have to probably think about is either GPIO support or, yeah. I don't think you should have any reasons issues with it, because even the chipset itself, it's a well-known chipset, so I don't think you should have any problems with this. Right, I need to go to the kitchen and save my marriage. So I'm gonna see you guys soon. If I gonna have a moment, I'm gonna put the prank in the office video prank up, and to make you chuckle. It is a really good video. Fan cases, I'll tell you tomorrow. Honestly, I've not plugged it in yet, and I'll know a little bit more tomorrow. I just wanted to open it, and so I knew if I'm gonna open it off the camera, this stream won't happen, and you won't see me being overly joyful. And some of you apparently missed this. Right, guys, go have a great days, and if you manage to get your Raspberry Pi 4, excellent. Let me know what you're up to, what you're gonna do with it, and as soon as I can, I'm gonna post some stuff. Take care. Bye bye.